passed since January 20th to make sure that the world knows that renewable energy is very much a part of our energy portfolio for the future. That's why we've spent a good amount of my time as secretary working on the permitting and on the development of renewable energy projects onshore. And we have many of those projects that we can point to today. We also have created the regulatory framework for the offshore wind development, and we'll be beefing up that effort from a regulatory point of view, and hopefully in the several years ahead you will see some of the first offshore winds go up in the United States.
So to ask it a different way, then, how much, if a climate bill passes, how much would that speed up the development of offshore?
If a climate bill passes, which we believe that it will, what will happen is that the regulatory certainty needed to create green jobs will be there, and so there will be companies that will be looking for clean energy. We know these are all clean energy jobs, and so it will be a significant impetus to moving forward with harnessing all the powers of renewable energy that we know are out there. I think Jim and everybody else, I give a lot of speeches on energy, and I think one of the things that I always find interesting is to be able to say that these are not technologies that we have to develop, because these technologies have already been developed elsewhere. So when you look at the list of countries that are already doing major initiatives with respect to offshore wind, you can come here to Denmark, you can go to the UK, and you can see what they've already done. And so it's not a technological issue that we are having to work through in the United States. It is for us more of a regulatory issue, and setting up the rules for the development of offshore wind, and also having the right kind of incentives and regulatory framework in place that will ensure that the industry will be able to thrive. David?
If I could just add to that, I think two points. One is the game changer for this administration and the secretary has been the expansion of renewable energy onto our public lands. The prior administration did not invest in our public lands. When we came into office, there was no regulatory structure for offshore, as the secretary talked about. There also was no base environmental work done for solar, despite the fact that most of the Southwest is in public lands, literally, and public hands rather, and that is some of the best solar resource in the world. And we have accelerated the analysis of potential sites in the Southwest, working with Western governors, working with the state of California, and we're on track to do 5,000 megawatts of power underway by next year of solar in the Southwest. So when the secretary talks about the change here, that's really what he's referring to, on the ground change. The other thing I'll just mention is, in terms of climate change legislation, one of the main benefits of it would be to put a price on carbon.
Yeah.
That's the whole basis of a lot of the debate in Congress, is the need to put a price on carbon so that these technologies can compete more fairly and vigorously in the private sector, and that's why the secretary and the president are working so hard on climate change legislation.
And for us, coming here to Denmark, we'll be with the rest of the world as the focus is put on the realities of climate change and what the world should be doing on that issue. But it's also an opportunity for us to learn, because Denmark has been at the forefront in the development of some of these technologies, and they've been dealing with the reality of climate change for a very long time. And we have a wonderful ambassador here who is doing a great job. And I don't know if you would want to comment about our visits here.
Well, one of the reasons I was looking forward to coming to Denmark was because they have been a leader in not just the development of renewable energies, but also the integration and implementation of those energies. And so I think there's much that the United States can learn and will learn. And there's a lot of partnerships going on between the National Resources Renewable Energy Lab in Colorado, and recent labs here, for example, in solar. Some really very cutting-edge technology in solar, where use for that in places like Africa or even places in the Southwest where people aren't hooked up to electricity. But so as the ambassador on behalf of President Obama and the United States, I look forward to supporting you and the work that you're doing by interacting with Danes over here and fostering partnerships and collaborations between U.S. government, Danish government, U.S. academic and researchers, Danish academic and researchers, and U.S. companies and Danish companies. Because I think the collaboration between our countries on global issues like renewable energy can only bring good things to all of us.